One man crossed a small river. It didn't look important. There were no great armies waiting on the other side, no massive battle, no cheering crowds, just a narrow river separating one Roman province from another. But the moment Julius Caesar stepped across it, he declared war on his own republic. That single decision triggered a civil war, ended centuries of Roman democracy, and changed the course of Western history forever. This is the story of the man who destroyed the Roman Republic. Before Julius Caesar became Rome's most famous leader, he was simply an ambitious young noble born into a respected but not especially wealthy family. Rome at the time wasn't an empire ruled by an emperor. It was a republic. Power belonged to elected officials, powerful senators, and competing political factions. No single man was supposed to control everything. At least, that was the idea. But behind the speeches and traditions, Roman politics had become ruthless. Bribery, corruption, and political violence were becoming increasingly common. Caesar understood this better than most. He wasn't just a soldier. He was an extraordinary politician. He knew that winning battles alone would never make him the most powerful man in Rome. He needed allies. So he formed one of history's most famous political alliances, the First Triumvirate. Together with Pompey, Rome, greatest general, and Crassus, the richest man in the Republic, Caesar gained the influence he needed to rise. Soon, he was appointed governor of Gaul, modern-day France and surrounding regions. Many expected it to be just another political assignment. Instead, it became the making of a legend. For nearly 10 years, Caesar fought campaign after campaign across Gaul. He defeated powerful tribes, captured strategic cities, crossed rivers that enemies believed were impossible to cross, even built a bridge across the Rhine in just days to demonstrate Rome's engineering and military power. Then, in an astonishing display of ambition, he launched expeditions across the English Channel into Britain. Although he didn't conquer Britain, the message was clear. Rome could reach places no one believed possible.
His victories made him incredibly popular. His soldiers admired him. The Roman people celebrated him.
His army became one of the most experienced fighting forces in the ancient world. But every victory made one group increasingly nervous: the Roman Senate. Many senators feared Caesar had become too powerful, and one man in particular began to see him as a threat: Pompey, the very ally who had helped Caesar rise. The alliance had collapsed. Crassus had died during a failed campaign in the east. Political tensions exploded. Rome now had two powerful men. Both commanded loyal supporters. Both believed they were acting in the Republic's best interest. Only one could remain. In 49 BC, the Senate made its move. Caesar received an order: dismiss your army, return to Rome as a private citizen. If he obeyed, he would likely face political prosecution. His enemies were waiting. If he refused, he would become an enemy of the Republic. Caesar marched south until he reached a small river. Its name was the Rubicon. Roman law was clear. No general was allowed to cross the Rubicon with an army. Doing so was an act of rebellion. Caesar paused. According to ancient accounts, he looked across the river and made his decision. The die is cast, then he crossed. With that single step, there was no turning back. Civil war had begun. Pompey and many senators fled Rome before Caesar even arrived. Rather than fighting in the streets, they escaped to Greece, hoping to gather a larger army. Caesar entered Rome almost without resistance, but he knew the real battle still lay ahead. Months later, the two armies finally met at the Battle of Pharsalus. Pompey had more soldiers, more cavalry. Many believed victory was certain, but Caesar had something more valuable: veteran troops who had fought beside him for years. When Pompey's cavalry attempted to overwhelm Caesar's flank, Caesar unveiled an unexpected tactic. He had secretly positioned an extra line of infantry behind his cavalry. At the critical moment, they surged forward and attacked. Pompey's cavalry collapsed. The entire battle unraveled. Caesar had defeated the greatest army Rome could assemble. Pompey fled to Egypt. But before Caesar could capture him, Pompey was murdered by local officials hoping to gain Caesar's favor. Instead of celebrating, Caesar was reportedly shocked. His greatest rival was gone.
The civil war continued in other regions, but one by one, Caesar defeated every remaining opponent. Finally, he returned to Rome, victorious.
The Senate awarded him extraordinary powers. Soon, he was named dictator for life. For many Romans, this crossed a dangerous line. The Republic had always feared kings. Now, they worried Caesar was becoming one. He introduced sweeping reforms. He reorganized government, reduced debt, expanded citizenship, resettled veterans, and perhaps his most lasting achievement, he introduced the Julian calendar. A calendar so accurate that much of it remained in use for over 1,600 years and became the foundation of the calendar we use today. But while ordinary citizens admired him, many senators believed the Republic itself was dying. They feared that if Caesar remained in power, Rome would never again be governed by elected institutions.
A conspiracy began to form. More than 60 senators joined the plot. Among them was Marcus Junius Brutus, a man Caesar trusted.
On the morning of March 15, 44 BC, the Ides of March, Caesar entered the Senate. He had been warned not to go. Some friends urged caution. Stories even claim that ominous signs and dreams had unsettled those close to him. But Caesar dismissed the warnings.
As the meeting began, the conspirators surrounded him. One senator grabbed his toga, another struck first. Then chaos erupted. Knives flashed from every direction. Caesar was stabbed again, and again, and again.
Ancient sources say he suffered 23 wounds. Within minutes, the most powerful man in Rome lay dead at the foot of a statue of Pompey. Ironically, the assassination failed to save the Republic. The conspirators believed they had restored freedom. Instead, they unleashed another civil war.
Power struggles erupted across Rome.
Eventually, Caesar's adopted heir, Octavian, defeated every rival. In 27 BC, he became Augustus, the first Roman emperor. The Republic was gone. An empire had begun. In the end, Caesar achieved something no Roman before him ever had. He transformed Rome forever, not simply through conquest, but by changing the political system itself. His military genius is still studied. His political ambition remains legendary. His name became synonymous with power. In fact, the title Caesar inspired later imperial titles such as Kaiser in Germany and Tsar in Russia. More than 2,000 years later, his influence can still be seen in politics, military strategy, language, and even the calendar hanging on our walls. Very few people change history. Even fewer change the world after their death. Julius Caesar did both. So here's the question. Was Julius Caesar the man who saved Rome, or the man who destroyed the Republic that made Rome great? Let me know what you think in the comments.
And if you enjoy true stories about history's greatest leaders, impossible battles, and world-changing decisions, don't forget to subscribe.
Because history is filled with moments that changed everything.